BONELAB is releasing very soon, September 29, 2022 on a Thursday. Now, BONELAB is going to be in the BONEworks universe with the same developer stress level and giving us everything that we're very familiar with. Now, is BONELAB going to be worth the hype is the main question we're going to be asking ourselves throughout the platform, right? This port is highly anticipated. This is literally our AAA game of like a Halo release, Call of Duty release. This is the virtual reality version of that type of hype. This game gains so much popularity in terms where people can actually say that it's overrated because so much people have in the OG VR universe and just the culture of virtual reality. This was a foundational standpoint of what that physics reputation has brought upon us, such as like the blade and sorcery nomads and just all the immersive features that lead to this type of sandbox gameplay. The most favored sandbox gameplay is definitely boneworks, and BONELAB coming into a Quest 2 port, it is going to be legendary if it's released without too many bugs and giving us a fair amount of mods in-house without needing to utilize any external equipment. The thing is with Quest 2 ports, they still tend to limit so much. Obviously, it's not a PC, but how far can Quest 2 take this release is what's really gonna put everything in demand and command for this game. When Blade and Sorcery PC VR first announced that they were doing Blade and Sorcery Nomad as a Quest 2 standalone native type port, we were excited. There's a lot of hype, but when it released, there was a lot of bugs and things that we just weren't too used to. And therefore, people, I feel, in my opinion, that it was still kind of early and people really bashed the game, or the longevity of the hype just did not live up to what we were expecting. Now, it did run its course, Blade and Sorcery Nomad, but it didn't give us that functionality or longevity. Now, boneworks has been a longevity type game that still gets very relevant views and watches and culture communication and just overall relatability until this day. And BONELAB being able to release on this Quest 2 is going to help a lot. Now, how many mods will they have in-house? Is there going to be a lot of bugs or maybe little to no bugs? Is it going to have a clean launch? Are we going to have a certain essentials that we're all used to, from the enemies to the universe, being in that universe and just everything that we're used to in terms of physics? Can it really be that expansive as it usually is? Is it going to be affordable? How much memory is it going to take? Those are all the questions we're going to utilize, and we put them together to see if BONELAB is going to give us that full-on essential for virtual reality and changing the looks of virtual reality. If this is a successful launch, BONELAB is going to dominate virtual reality for a very long time, and it is going to set that foundational stone similar to what years ago happened in PC VR, to where it's relevant to this day. After a few years now, boneworks is still very popular. So BONELAB can start now fresh as a Quest 2 standalone, then moving forward, it's just going to be incredible. Now, here's why it's going to be incredible with BONELAB. It's a Quest 2 port, meaning that we don't have to do PC VR, have to worry about laggy essentials, worrying about trying to do air link or just manually link when you're creating or just having fun or just clocking out. It's, you know, when you're stressed out, you just want to do some fun stuff, be in the sandbox and have a RPG type essential slash FPS slash sandbox slash exploration type game. BONEworks is perfect for that, and having to just be able to put on your Quest 2, turn it on, and being able to jump right into a game of this caliber and in this demand really takes it to a level to what we're not really used to when it comes down to Quest 2, as Quest 2 has been very early in its years, and what they're trying to predict and bring to the table seems a little bit advanced, that every time something does release, we're kind of let down because sometimes graphics don't meet the requirement that we're used to, or just everything, whether it's their metaverse, quote unquote, or Horizon Worlds are creating that meta profile now, avatars, like everything just seems very early still. But if this is able to give us that respectable outlook that we're used to in boneworks with PC VR, this is going to be incredible. Everything around that realm gives us that notoriety that we're used to, and gives OG VR users that are used to trying not to plug into everything, giving us a simplicity factor. So if we are exhausted, we're able to just jump right into this game, which is huge. Creators, stands, overall gamers, just players, or just for the exact virtual reality experience, not even thinking about it in a gaming nature, but stepping out and just looking at it from a VR experience, this game is hands down one of the best things you can do to actually learn everything. And if BONELAB gives us that actual launch that we're anticipating, it's going to be a game that's going to be on top list for a long time, if not probably all the way until the end of time, because this game is incredible. Now y'all gotta let me know, are y'all excited for BONELAB as it is in the BONEWORKS universe? The same developers, the same correlations, the same enemies, and more. How much mods do you think are gonna be there? How much you think it's gonna cost? Like, what do you think about BONELAB, and what do you think they can provide for us that can help us out really distinguish from PC VR? Because what's going to happen next in the future, what BONELAB is going to do is that if this is a successful launch, it now changes the aspect of PC VR. It changes the aspects of Quest 2, giving them a little bit more respect than what they have gotten in virtual reality as far as the OG culture. Also, this can be a retribution of what virtual reality is going to take to the next level. Is it going to be cloud gaming? Are more PC VR type devs on Steam going to want to go into Quest 2 boards? Because it's a faster, simplistic way to really get into their games and to be able to give devs a shot to popularize their games. Y'all gotta let me know in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. Is BONELAB gonna crush it? I think they will, man. Woo!